What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the podcast. If you're new to the show, welcome to the show. If you're into anime, if you're into video games, nerd culture, then you've come to the right place. We talk about all of that shit here. Got a lot to talk about today, guys. We're going to go over some stuff. This is episode 200. Very special episode, guys. 200 podcast down. That's crazy to even say. Yeah, man, it's a big achievement for me, and I'm looking for another 200 podcasts down the line. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show, for everybody who discovered the show and decided to run with the show and appreciates what I'm doing here. I love what I do. I love talking about video games. I love talking about anime and things of that nature. So thank you guys very much for supporting me, to everybody that has been listening. Also, before we begin the show, if you want to go get any and everything, all things Studio MacGyver, you can do that easily by going to StudioMguyvR.com. You can get the podcast there. You can stream it. You can download it. You can get all of my handles there, the Instagrams, the Facebook pages, all of that stuff, guys. Even my SoundCloud, which you can get free music. I have a Dragon Ball song there you can download. It's called My Dragon Ball. A little fun for the Dragon Ball fans out there. So, yeah, man, there, check out everything that I have, StudioMguyvR.com once again. And also, you can support the show. You can go, you can get merch. You can show your support and buy me a coffee. There's a lot of different things you can do, guys, to show love and support for this show. Okay. Now, today's episode, I want to be talking about a few things. One of them in particular is going to be Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 68. Going to get into that, new characters, where this is going, and the future of Dragon Ball, man. You know what I'm saying? So can't wait to dive into that. Also, my anime watch list, guys. I know the last couple of weeks I haven't been able to, watch a lot of anime, but this past week I definitely had a chance to watch a little something. I want to get into that, and they're pretty dope. So you want to be looking out for that. Also, Microsoft. Microsoft tried to pull out the warm butter, and it backfired. I'm going to talk about that. What am I talking about? Trust me, two shakes of a lamb's tail. You will know very soon. And then I'm going to get into a little bit of some Cyberpunk news. It seems like every fucking week I have something to say about Cyberpunk, and this week is no different, guys. Cyberpunk 2077 had another update. Going to get into that. Me personally, I haven't even played it yet. I just downloaded it today, this morning. But I've heard things. There's talking out here in these digital streets. I'm going to get into that as well. And the future of that franchise as well, man. It's not looking too fucking good, but we'll see. Also, we have some Knights of the Old Republic news, guys. For you guys old enough to remember this game, playing this game, even if you haven't, I'm sure there's a lot of younger people who listen to the show who are Star Wars fans who've probably heard of this game. If you played Star Wars video games, or if you loved Star Wars video games, then this is probably one you've heard about at least. And a lot of you guys have actually played this game. Even if you've come late to the party, the game still holds up well to this day. You can now get the first and the second one on mobile devices everywhere. So it's, you know what I mean? Just, it's an amazing game. If you haven't played it, you definitely should check it out. I'm going to get into that, though. I have some news on that. And then my curiosity keeps on growing when it comes to PC gaming. I've been doing a little bit of research, not a lot, but a little bit, enough to wet my fucking beak. And I want to dive into that, guys. And I'm excited about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm excited about it. And I had an epiphany earlier this week about my decisions moving forward with, what consoles I want to play and how I want to go about doing that. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. That's going to be later at the end of the show. But yeah, with all that said, guys, we can now finally dive in, and let's break open the first topic of discussion, and let's talk about Dragon Ball. I'm starting out with Dragon Ball. I don't talk about Dragon Ball a lot in this podcast because, all we have now basically is the manga to go off of, and I'm not a manga guy. I am a anime guy. Okay, anime first all day, all the time. I understand the dynamics between manga and anime. Mangas usually come out way before the anime does, and manga usually ends up wrapping it up. In my opinion and in my experience, for a lot of anime, Anime doesn't necessarily, it's not guaranteed for anime to actually finish. Okay. Even if it's a dope anime in all regards, there's plenty of anime that I have seen that I dove into and I expected it to have an ending to it, especially, older anime, not even by a lot, maybe like a 2016 or a 2015 anime. It's 2021 now. So I'm thinking, oh, if it's only 2 seasons or whatever, that should be it, right? It should be wrapped up or whatever. But no, a lot of these anime end up stopping production. They end up just going completely falling off the grid, basically, because I'm assuming production reasons, money, and all those things, and maybe it got too much for the studio to take care of, and they just couldn't come back around to the anime. But then you have others who take long hiatuses and then come back 2-3 years after, like One Punch Man. Okay, certain anime like that, which would happen. And it seems to be Dragon Ball right now as well. Okay, Dragon Ball Super. Okay, well, you're not getting one season after the next. You have to fucking wait. You can this goes this. I mean, there's so many of them out there that this has happened to. Attack on Titan is another one that comes to mind. So it happens, man. And you know, when it comes to Dragon Ball Super and where it's headed, man, it's still a mystery to me. I'm still dumbfounded. I still don't know what is going to happen. We haven't had any real word out here in these Dragon Ball streets on what's coming next as far as the anime is concerned. They keep going forward with the manga. They keep moving with the manga. So I'm just hoping that sometime this year we get some sort of announcement, something related to the future of the anime, because now they're nice and they've built a pretty good cushion to build off of now. They're way ahead in the manga. Okay, we already have another arc that has came and went with the Galactic Patrolman Prisoner arc. That's over, done. So they have a whole nother arc, and now we're moving into the next arc. Okay, and they're introducing characters that go by the name. One goes by the name of Granola, and there's another group of pirate-like characters, and they go by Heaters. Some people call them Heatas. They're pronounced different ways. However you want to pronounce it is cool. You know what I mean? Whatever sounds better to you. But this is where we're looking at. This is what we're looking at in chapter 68. I mean, an introduction to these characters and what's going on. 7-3, which is an android from the last arc, is involved in this somewhat. He's sort of, I guess, he's sort of like a necessity to Granola, who is, supposed to be one of the main characters in the next arc. He looks awesome too, by the way, guys. I mean, if you haven't seen him or you're curious on what he looks like, definitely check that out. Google him and tell me what you think. He's got this patch. It looks kind of like a electronic patch on one of his eyes. He's got long hair and he looks awesome to me. So I'm very curious to see and find more about this character. He's supposed to be really powerful. From what I gather. Now, I did not read the manga chapter. Okay, I just, I looked into it. I grazed over it, and I got some facts out of there. And that's the thing I'm just kind of mad about, because I'm like, I'm not a manga reader, but fuck, I kind of want to find out more about these guys. And, I'll do that in my own right. But it's exciting to know that they're moving on, and we're getting these other characters that are introduced who are in Universe 7, by the way, let me also say that. And I want to find out more about these characters and how they go about getting into it with Goku and all those guys. But the fun thing about this character, Granola, is that he's joining this group or this band of pirates that go by the name of Heaters. They're not necessarily friends. They're basically doing this as a means to an end. They need each other's services in some form of capacity to get whatever needs to get done. Okay. And that's it. Granola actually is not going for Goku. He has nothing to do with Goku right now. He is chasing Frieza. Basically, Frieza is responsible for the death of his people to some form of degree, which who hasn't Frieza killed or pissed off, or you know what I mean? He's basically fucked over so many people. All right. I mean, that's part of why I love him. He's just a savage. But this guy happens to be one of those guys, and now revenge is being sought in some shape, form, or fashion. He's even stated that he's not quite ready to go up against Frieza yet, so he needs to work on a few things, his skills, his fighting, and some other things. But he will be ready one day soon, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. I'm wondering the fate of Frieza. Could Frieza be killed by Granola eventually? I mean, I don't know. There's so many scenarios. Toriyama, who knows, man, what's going to happen. Toriyama is definitely also linked to this arc. He's supposed to be heavily involved in this one, so we're going to see where it goes. A lot of people are excited, but if you're not a manga guy like me, you were waiting for the anime, and you're starting to get that itch. You're starting to wonder what the fuck is going to happen now. Where do we go from here? Because we've waited long enough, I feel, and we still haven't had any news yet, guys. We're in 2021 now. I know it's early, but come on. I mean, come on, guys. We need to know what the fuck is going on with this franchise. What do you guys plan to do with the anime? Now, hopefully, if my wishes come true, I mean, they're taking their time with the anime, and they're not trying to do the same thing they did with Super when it first came out. Okay, and if you remember when Super first came out, it was a fucking eyesore. It was a disaster in so many ways, production wise. I mean, the animation was just fucking trash. Okay, if I'm being honest, and I can be honest because I'm one of the biggest Dragon Ball fans out there. Okay, I really am. I have Dragon Ball tattoos. I have so much Dragon Ball shit in my life. It's ridiculous. I grew up on this shit. It introduced me to anime as a culture. That was the first anime I ever watched. Okay, and it's the first anime that ever made me curious to want to know how can I get more of this? Where can I find stuff like this? And so I absolutely love Dragon Ball for that, if not for anything else. Okay, but we're ready. We need the next arc in anime form to come, but I'm hoping that they learn from their mistakes on the first season of Dragon Ball Super, and they finally got ahead of themselves. That's what I hope. That's what I think they're going to do. Okay, maybe they wanted to make sure they waited until a completely a whole arc was done and completed before they moved on with the next arc in anime form. Okay, so now they've done that. We're past the next arc in manga form. Okay, and now they're moving on to the next arc, which is chapter 68 and beyond. And I feel that they can start pushing out the anime now, and they're ahead by one whole fucking arc. So, but by the time the uh, Dragon Ball Super arc happens, the next arc in line, but by the time that's done, they'll still be ahead of the game. So that's all I can say. That's my hopes. Those are my dreams for this for the franchise, man. And I hope that I'm right about that. That's all I can say. Because I mean, if we have to wait with no news for the entire 2021, I kind of find it hard to believe that that's going to happen. I really do. So I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay, but only time will tell. And then also on another note, while I'm still in the Dragon Ball mood or whatever, man, so far there's been no word on the other characters, the other fighters of the Z team. Okay, this is basically what it's looking like is the Goku and Vegeta show. That's what it looks like right now. I don't know if we're ever gonna see the type of chemistry we had with the Z team, ever again. And I'm talking about before the Frieza arc, during the Frieza arc. That was some of the best times of Dragon Ball, in my opinion. And I'll always claim that because everybody was involved, everybody was still contributing, getting things done. And then, I mean, we talk about Gohan and Piccolo and those guys. I mean, those were household names. Gohan was supposed to be the next in line. He was supposed to be that guy, if not just to take up the mantle, to at least, stand side by side with his dad. Okay. And Vegeta, right? But no love in the building. I mean, they really shit on Gohan. I mean, they they shit on Gohan so hard, man. And I'm not a Gohan fan. I'm not even the big Gohan fan, but they shit on Gohan. I mean, Stevie Wonder could see that they shit on Gohan. I kind of look at that as a plot hole, a dropped ball, if you will, on a character that they really fucked up on, I think. And they've done this with a lot of characters where they made them too fucking OP for their own good too early, and then all of a sudden they have to fucking nerf the fuck out of them. And when you do that, when you do it too quick, it everybody can see it. You know what I mean? I mean, Gohan was that guy, and then he went from 60 to 0 just like that in the snap of a fucking finger. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right that he hasn't been involved in a lot of things in the tournament. I mean, I definitely thought he was going to be doing some things, but he didn't. He said he was going to take everything serious and train, and he got serious again, and he trained like, he used to train, but he still hadn't reached the pinnacle, not even close to where he could have been. I can't understand that. I think that's just a drop ball. Okay. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, that's one character you can pull out of the sky and say, here's an example of what Toriyama and those guys have done wrong, in my opinion. Okay. But that's just me. I don't know who else feels the same. If you do, hey, I'd love to hear your fucking comments. I really fucking would. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get off that Dragon Ball Super wagon because I'm tuckered out on that shit. Okay. So let's move the needle and let's go to the next subject at hand. And I want to talk about my anime watch list, guys. My anime watch list. I actually got some anime done. Okay. I got one anime done and I really got into another one. All right. And I'm really enjoying myself. The first one is called Stars Align. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's about tennis. Tennis is the subject. Well, let me say that tennis is the main, the skeleton of the anime. Okay. But it's really about some tennis players, and it's really about kids learning to play together, because this tennis squad is not one-on-one. It's a 2-on-2 tennis competition. I don't know. I know shit about tennis. Okay. And I don't even know what made me watch this. I really fucking don't. It was on my list and I was just drawing straws and I said, okay, let's just pick one out the sky. Here it is. And that's kind of what you got to do sometimes when your list is so fat. I got all kinds of anime here and I'm like, let me just see what it is, man. It's supposedly pretty popular. It had some decent stars on it. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why I put it on the list. And I said it had to be working with something. So I started watching it and I finished it and it was great. I mean, the character development and all of that was great. I mean, these guys had a tennis club but they never took it seriously. Even their coach, everybody looked at it as just a formality or whatnot. Now the girls tennis team was the star of the school. They were great players. They were champions. The boys tennis team was just thought of a, afterthought. Nobody gave any effort. Nobody gave a fuck. And then one day, that changed and they started playing and they started practicing actually. And it's more to it than that, guys. It definitely is, but it's a great, great story. I love how they put everything together. And it's pretty dark too. This one has actually got a dark side to it, man. I mean, a lot of these kids had a lot of issues and a lot of problems, at home. And it just showed you, it put the light on that. I mean, they tackled everything on this anime from fucking, trying to come out being gay and like just all kind of shit, abusive parents, all kind of crazy scenarios that you can think of. They shed light on a lot of these. And I think it was very tasteful the way they did it, man. And like I said, there's going to be a season 2. I checked on it because the way season 1 ended was kind of like a nail biter in a sense. And you just have to check it out. It's definitely worth your time. I no longer am staying away from stuff because I don't like certain things like tennis. Like I never, tennis games, video games, I kind of dug playing. You know what I mean? They're always been fun. The Sega games, the Sega sports games and stuff like that. Even the Mario Tennis was dope. But, I never thought I'd be watching an anime based on a tennis backdrop with a tennis backdrop on it. And I'm glad that I watched it. Looking forward to season 2. Definitely check it out. When I talk about these anime guys, I don't dive too deep into them because you guys may have not seen them and I don't want to spoil too much for you. So that's kind of like what I'm doing. I give you the synopsis, I give you the basics of it, and then you kind of make your decision on how you want to, roll with that. But definitely check it out, guys. Stars Align is the name of the anime. The next one shouldn't surprise you. I was in a sports mood. Okay. So I said, you know what? We did tennis. Let's do volleyball. Fuck it. Let's do Haikyuu. If you're not familiar with Haikyuu, it's another anime, awesome anime, by the way, and it revolves around volleyball. Yes, another sport I do not take interest in. Okay. And I've seen this one around. I've heard people talking about this one through, Facebook, Facebook clubs and Facebook clubs, but just on the internet, period. Anybody who watches anime like I watch it, you're going to see stuff that cross your path. You may not even remember it sometimes, but I knew this orange haired kid's face from somewhere. Okay. And everybody saying how awesome it was. And yes, I've done about 12 episodes so far, and I've fully invested. I'm fully invested in this anime. It's about this kid who really loves the sport, and he's really short, by the way, but very athletic and just full of fire and vigor and determination, like a lot of shonen anime characters are. And he is a firecracker, man. He's really quick, and he wants to be the ace, which I guess in volleyball is the guy who basically scores a lot of the points, who does the spiking and all of that, whatnot. And he's short and undersized or whatever, but he has incredible speed and, like I said, heart. And you put those things together, man, he's gonna be something to fuck with. He's gonna be somebody you actually don't want to fuck with, and you discover that in here. And you also discover brotherhood, companionship, camaraderie, all those type of things that you see in sports. And you also learn that, one guy doesn't make the team. It takes a team of people that you can trust to go somewhere and come away with wins. That's how it goes. You can't be selfish. If you are, you have to learn to throw that away, put that in the back seat. And they demonstrate all of these scenarios in this anime. I've already experienced all of those things in the first 12 episodes and then some. And then you get to watch these characters grow as players and as people. And that's another awesome thing. Like I said, once again, another anime I didn't think I was going to like as much as I did, but I am fully invested in that. Probably going to watch some more after this podcast. And yeah, man, I'm very, very excited about this anime moving forward. And it's a couple seasons available for me now. I think season 3, I might be on Crunchyroll. So yeah, I'm on Hulu now with it. After I finish the first 2 seasons, I'll jump on Crunchyroll and finish it up. Okay. But yeah, that's what I've been doing anime wise, guys. That's what I got done. I'm still waiting on Attack on Titan to finish up because I want to watch it all. I want to binge it. I really want to binge it. It's the final season, and I would just like to binge that. I don't like standing on the edge of my seat waiting a whole nother fucking week for another episode. It's not me. I don't like doing that. So I'm not going to do that. Okay. That's just how I feel about it. Now, getting off of the anime train, let's jump on to some other fucking news. And let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Let me get that out of the fucking way because, god damn it, I'm tired of hearing about Cyberpunk 2077, guys. Okay, we just had a new update. Okay, 1.10. And apparently it's made some things worse for certain players. And it's still got a long way to go. Okay, basically that's what I'm trying to say. 17 gigs is the size of this thing. Okay. I hate the way that they compile sizes and put shit together. I really fucking do. The way they do shit. Sometimes it bothers me. It bothers the fuck out of me. It's too fucking big, guys. Like by the time we get all these fucking patches for Cyberpunk, it's going to be 200 fucking gigs, man, for one game. And if you ask me, it's just not worth that sacrificing that much space for a game. I don't care what game it is. Okay? It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous, and something needs to be done. Yeah, it just does. I'm playing it still because I still enjoy myself playing it. And I'm going to keep playing it. And I'm doing it for content as well. So, you know, I don't know, guys. It was a game that really had so many hopes, so many dreams. And I really thought, I'm sure with a lot of you guys probably thought it was going to do a lot of great things. And it is completely not the case. It has turned into a meme and so much more. These guys have completely damaged their reputation, and I really hate that for CD Projekt Red, man, because they were a great company, and they really, really were one of the only companies who really put the consumer first as far as what they did and what you got for your money. But this is going to hurt them, and I hope they can recover from it with the DLC and with everything else. They can catch up, because right now what they're doing is playing fucking catch up. I hope a year from now we can look back on this and say, man, that shit was wild, wasn't it? But they recovered. They pulled out a No Man's Sky, and they're back. That's what I hope. But we shall see. I think the PS4 and the Xbox One, I think they're going to really have a hard time with that. Because in development, they got ahead of themselves. And as the development started to get closer and closer to being done, they started realizing that, excuse me, they started realizing that these systems could not handle what they were trying to dish out. Okay. And technology has been changing and changing, and it happened right before their eyes. And now we have what we have: two different codes, if you will, on two different platforms, last gen and current gen. Once again, sorry for that, guys. But anyway, I don't know. All I can tell you now is we'll wait and see. We'll just fucking wait and see and find out what happens later. Pick up the pieces then. I'm going to still play it. This one playthrough. I'm not going to play any more playthroughs until I get the PS5. And that's going to be it. But I thought I'd let you guys know. I'm curious to know how you guys feel about the new update. Have anybody played it yet? And if you have, do you notice anything for the better, or do you notice anything for the worst? I'd like to hear from you guys. Okay? Anyway, let's move on. Let's get off of Cyberpunk. I'm so tired of talking about it. And let's move on to Microsoft. Yeah. Now, Microsoft has tried to pull out the warm butter, okay, on a lot of consumers. All right. And what I mean by that is, if you haven't heard of the Xbox Live Gold, it's basically kind of like the thing before the Game Pass hit. Okay. It was a subscription, kind of like you have on Sony, where you pay a monthly fee of whatever, and then you can, buy a year's worth, 6 months worth, or whatever. They basically raised their annual prices, and they were charging they were charging $120, okay, to play this, to have this membership, okay. And this is also, keep in mind, this is also for free to play games. Okay, so $120 a year. That's what they were charging people. $120 a year. Before, it was fucking half that. Okay? It was $60 a year. But what they were trying to do on the low, trying to be slick, is they were trying to use this price jump to push players off of the Live Gold membership and push them in the direction of the Game Pass, which makes sense. I mean, if you want gold, or if you want the Game Pass, of course, Game Pass all day. But they were just trying to, in a sense, they were trying to run all those scragglers off of gold, off of Live Gold, and push them towards the Game Pass. But I think that was the wrong way to do it. And apparently I'm not the only one, because social media ran down on Microsoft with this one. Okay, everybody was talking about it. That's the crazy thing about social media today, man. It's so crazy now. I mean, because they ended up, the backlash was so bad that they ended up reversing the decision just like that. Okay, they saw that the heat was coming and it was coming hard, and they had to get off of that fucking train before it fucking fell off the tracks, and they did so. But I was looking at it as a social media kind of phenomenon, and not even that, not just, I'm not talking about just this said subject, but as a whole, as a fucking whole, you cannot fuck up out here in these digital streets, really anywhere. But my world is the digital world, the video games and all that. That's a world I like to live in a lot. The anime scene. If you fuck up out here, I mean, you're gonna get called for it. So these companies now, it's a good thing in a way, because you can't play with people anymore. Okay, you can't make dog boo boo, put some salt and pepper on it, and say, "Hey, it's hamburger." You can't do it, because now everybody has something to say, and believe me, they will say it. Okay, and it's being said, and now because of that, there's no there's no $120 a year service for that. Okay, and then on top of that, they even said that they're going to make it so that you don't even need the live gold package to play free to play games. So they're going to fix that eventually as well. Not right away. That's coming a little bit later. But the fact that they're fixing that is their way of basically saying, look, yeah, we fucked up. We shouldn't have did it this way. It was a bad decision. We're going to go back in their boardroom. We're going to pour out the sake. We're going to, put out our scrolls, stop smoking Indo, stop smoking Sherm, whatever we've been doing. We're going to put all the drugs in the toilet and flush it. And we're going to get smart about it. And we're going to give you actually more than what we were giving last time. So basically they're apologizing, and they're showing you that they also have cookies. Okay. So, I mean, that's the right way to handle it. I have to keep it real. If they made a mistake, which they did, they owned up to that mistake and they changed it swiftly. And then they added something on top of that to let everybody know, hey, look, we know we fucked up. Here's a little something coming down the pipeline for you guys to show us, or to show you that we mean well. Now, that's what you need. The people have the power. I keep telling people this all the fucking time, man. If you want a game made, or if you see a practice being done and you don't like it, you have to raise awareness about it and get other people involved. And sooner or later, the dam will break and changes will be made. Okay? They follow the people. They set the tone. We set the tone for what's to come moving forward. That's just how it is, and that's how it'll always fucking be. But so many people are blind to that, and they think that, oh, my little word won't mean anything. No, it does. It really fucking does. Okay? So I say that to say, good for Microsoft. Good for Microsoft. I'm glad they did this. The butter was really about to be used out here. They were going to do strange things in the dark with this warm butter to a lot of consumers. And I'm glad that that knock at the door came right at the right time. Okay. I think they were putting the butter in the microwave, and they were hitting that 2-minute button. They were going to heat that tub up for about 2 minutes and get it liquidy, hot and warm. And then that doorbell rung. Oh shit. Turn off the microwave. Let's put this butter up, let it cool off, stick it back in the refrigerator. We're not doing anything strange tonight. I think that's what happened, and they're better for it. Okay, that's it. I'll leave that alone. But yeah, hopefully we can do this and make this happen for other companies that are doing dumbass shit as well. Okay, because there's a lot of companies out here making bad moves, very, very bad moves. Okay. But moving on, let's talk about Star Wars. I want to talk some about Star Wars because apparently, well, I talked about this last week. EA has basically lost their exclusive rights to Star Wars, the franchise. Okay, so they are still making Star Wars games. Please don't get it twisted. They're still making Star Wars games, but they are not the only company now. Okay, now other companies have free reign to work on other projects, which it should have been done a long time ago, which I think it should be that way, period, moving forward. Okay. I hate exclusive deals with companies sometimes. I really do. With a franchise, you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily like, well, Sony has their franchises and Microsoft has theirs. I mean, that's your IPs, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an entity. I'm talking about a like somebody like Star Wars, a license like Star Wars, Marvel or DC or something like that. Allow everybody. If you allow one to make the game or make a game in that, with these characters, allow other companies to make a game with other characters and that license, those likenesses. You know what I mean? It would be a better gaming world if we could all do that shit, in my opinion. Okay, just kind of like Madden, the Madden thing. I mean, Madden, they still have rights to the NFL for another couple years, if I'm not mistaken. And I would really like to see that shit change hands as well, or change the guard, or let EA still make their Madden games. Okay, the lazy asses fuck with that Madden shit, but let other companies try again and do a football game as well, because it's only going to make Madden better, because it's going to put fire in their asses. Now they have competition. See, all they did was pay for no competition, pay to have no competition. They paid that money so they could say, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Okay. And nobody can fuck with us. We can be lazy. We can shit on people, and it doesn't matter, because nobody else can make a game. Nobody else can challenge us for at least this set amount of years. And that's what they were doing. They were fucking regurgitating the same fucking shit, the same animations, all of this shit over and over again, because they didn't have to fucking worry about competition. Now, as soon as you open that floodgate, they have to get back in that boardroom and pour out that fucking sake and get back to business, because now they have competition again and they don't want to lose out. That's what I want to see. More competition, because it makes everything better. It does. Okay. So I say all that to say that there is another, I can't believe I'm saying this. There is another KOTOR in development. If you don't know what KOTOR means, it stands for Knights of the Old Republic. Okay, it's a huge Star Wars franchise that is coveted by so many Star Wars fans. It's an older game. It came out like on the Xbox, the original Xbox, and PC. Now it's available for, mobile devices and things of that nature, but it's still a classic fucking game. Both of them. I played them both, loved them to fucking death, guys. And they're making a third one right now. But what's so crazy, it's not EA. EA is not making it. And actually, I don't know the name of the company. They right now are not revealing the company working on this game. But they did reveal that it is not EA. They did let us know that much. So if you guys don't know about EA, BioWare technically is a company under them who was responsible for the first games. And they're not on it anymore. Now, let's keep it real. I mean, at first when I heard that, it kind of like, but how many years have passed? Over 20 years have passed. And since these games came out, and let's keep it real with each other. I mean, BioWare is not the same company that they are. They're not the same company today that they were back then. I mean, so many people changed positions and job categories. They're not the same. A lot of people left and started their own thing. So this is, you may have a couple original people there, if that. And other than that, it's just a name of the company. So, I think people take that for granted when you have a lot of people who are responsible for the other games that were successes. Those people are the meat and potatoes of this, man. They leave. It's a big deal when you get the announcement that, oh, so-and-so left or she left or whatever, because these are the pioneers on a lot of these games, and they make some of those crucial decisions on how the game, moves forward. And with them people not there, you don't know what you're getting. You know what I mean? So if you see a company who is renowned for doing certain things good, and then they all of a sudden don't on another title or another project, you probably want to look at the people behind the helm of that, because that's going to tell you a lot, a lot of things. It's gonna leave a lot of breadcrumbs to be discovered, and they'll lead you in the right direction and show you who and where the fuck up start and begun. So these things are very crucial, and I'm really curious to know who's working on this game. And I hope they don't drop the ball on this. I don't think they will, because anybody now who has the Star Wars franchise, and are given this opportunity, I don't think they're going to fuck this up. I think they're going to make sure that they get everything right. They know how passionate Star Wars fans are, and I think they're going to do good things. Maybe even better than fucking BioWare did when they had the license for the first two KOTOR games. But we'll see, man. We will definitely fucking see. I'm very curious. I need to know. I would love to know. And I'm not even sure they had it for both games. I know BioWare did the first one. I'm not sure if they did the second one. I think somebody else did the second, but I could be wrong. Don't let me get the line. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. That's what I've seen. And I'm just excited that the Star Wars license is going to be spread out like peanut butter, okay, among different companies. And I'm anxious to see what these other companies do. A lot of these companies are probably going to make a pretty big name for themselves leading in the future, because you got to give new companies, new studios, you got to give them chances to shine and show their, their digital muscle out here in these digital streets. That's how they're born. That's how all these companies were born. They were born on a game that they did or put out, and then people fucking rejoiced and loved them, and then that's how they got their start. And then that name is affiliated with them. You're going to have some sort of success with that name. Okay, so I'm wondering who that next team is going to be, that next studio to put out a bomb-ass Star Wars game that we all love, and then our kids will be talking about for years to come. Okay? And that's it, and that's all. Now, I'm going to wrap up this podcast, guys, and I'm going to talk about my curiosity, my strong curiosity now, when it comes to PC gaming. Okay? Now, I was one of those guys that kind of, I don't want to say shit on PC, but PC never, it was never a topic of discussion in this podcast. Very rarely I talked about PC gaming. Okay, I'm a console gamer. I came into this game on the original Nintendo, and just I'm a console guy, a console gamer, and I'm sure a lot of you listening or watching are. But I cannot deny any longer the the urge or the curiosity or even intrigue that I have for PC gaming. And I say that because what really got me curious about it, to be honest with you, is the Nintendo Switch, believe it or not. I was watching so many YouTube videos on upcoming, Nintendo Switch games or hidden gems that, people haven't heard of or played. And a lot of these YouTubers would cram in, a lot of them would cram in Nintendo Switch games with PC games. So I'm, looking for, pixelated RPGs, because I love pixelated, 16-bit RPGs, action RPG games. There's a lot of those type of games being made for the Switch now, but there's even more being made on PC. And I didn't discover that until recently when I were watching these videos. And I said, yo, what is this game called? Or what is that game called? And it said PC, nowhere else. I was like, oh, fuck. Damn, I really want to play this game, or I would love to play that game. But, this is on Steam. So that got me curious. And I started looking into PCs a little bit. And I discovered, even now, it's really easy to get in, easier to get into than I thought. Because in my mind, I was closed-minded to think this, but this is all I knew, because I didn't choose to investigate any further. I just figured that PC were, they're a pain in the ass to put together. You have to build them up, and you have to get all these parts, and they're fucking overpriced, and they hundreds and hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars, and all of that stuff, man. And then I really started digging deeper, and I found out that no, you could make a pretty decent PC, gaming PC, for, a pretty budget, nice price. You can, between $300 and $600, you can come out with, something worth having and playing. And like I said, the majority of the games that I was looking to play were just those Steam games that came out, that were made for that were pixelated, most likely, that weren't very heavy on the PC, if you will. And then, maybe some games, like older games, maybe like, there's games I would like to play on a PC. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Well, what's the one I can think of right now? Max Payne 3. That's a game that I would love to play on the PC. And it just, the list goes on and on. But, I have a friend, Jesse, I'm giving him a shout out, who built his own PC. He was playing Cyberpunk 2077 on it. And he was telling me that, it's pretty easy to build, man. The parts, you can find them for all kinds. You can find used parts. You can get them really low, really, really cheap prices and stuff. So I started going to YouTube and, I just started to, wet my beak a little bit. And I started to discover all these channels. And I'm actually really anxious to get back in there this following week. So I'm going to do a lot more research. I'm going to dive in and we're going to see what else I can discover with the PC community, if you will, and trying to think about getting a PC, man, because I also discovered that you can go to certain websites and build your shit right there. You can they'll put it together for you. There's even gaming PCs that are already made and built and you can pick them up, like already done. Okay. You like the specs or whatever, and they're upgradable. So what they have will get the job done. But if you want to, invest further later down the line, you can add parts and pieces to it. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. If I were to get one, it'd be something of that magnitude. It'd be, and I've seen one that I have my eye on right now already. It's like $600. Now keep that in mind, because next week I might come back with a whole completely another idea, but that's the one right now I want. It's an HP. It's all black and green. It's got green lighting on it. It looks pretty cool. But it's pre-made. It's already in a box. You can get them at your local Walmarts and Targets. They're easy to get. They're easy to find. And, it's basically a starter PC, gaming PC. I'd even put it on the head of, even better than that. And I watched some YouTube videos on people reviewing them and what it had and all of that. And I try to get the gist of, what's needed to run games of today's standard on them. And that PC actually does them pretty well. You can get you 60 frames, on the game. And in some games, you can even get higher than that. So I'm very intrigued by this. Okay. I just bought an 8-bit Dole controller. And, it's one of those controllers where you can link it up wirelessly to different devices. And I would love to use that controller for my PC if I were to get a gaming PC. Excuse me, guys. I just ate before this podcast a whole bunch of rice and chicken and shit. And, the burps. What can you do? But anyway, I'm very intrigued. And it brought me to I had an epiphany about the PS5. Okay. Because I told you guys, if you've been listening in the last couple months, you probably know my plans were to get a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, right? That was my main goal eventually. But now I'm kind of changing my tune. Of course, the PlayStation 5 is going to get, I want that. That's definitely going always and forever. But now, instead of the Xbox Series X, man, I'm leaning towards a gaming PC. And I'm doing that because you get more flexibility with the gaming PC, because you get a lot of the Microsoft games on PC, number one. Then you get the flexibility of being to play a lot of all the Steam games. And if you want other things to play as well. So you could run certain programs on there. If you wanted to stream them, you could do emulators all day on the gaming PC as well. So like really, that flexibility is just there. With the Xbox Series X, yes, you have that, but you only have the Xbox games. Okay, Xbox Series X games basically is what you have. And of course, the backlog of the backwards compatibility thing. But the PC, you get more. And I've checked Steam out. Steam has thousands of games, man. And a lot of them are great. And you can get a lot of them for like pennies on the dollar. Okay. And that's another thing. I mean, the library would be fucking huge. So I'm thinking going there that way. And also I might even buy I've considered thinking about buying the gaming PC before I even buy the PS5, guys. Yes, I could have bought a fucking Xbox Series X at Walmart like a month ago. Had an opportunity to do it, but I chose not to do it because I said, no, this is my money for the PS5. And I said I was going to get the PS5 first because at least I can play my backwards compatible games with the piece with that. I could with the Xbox as well, but Sony just had more to look forward to, and a lot quicker. But as I'm looking at what's coming for the PlayStation 5 right now, there's nothing, there's still really no games out. Okay, there's nothing that has been announced that I'm ready to just go out and buy one for. The only two games I'm really curious to play right now are Final Fantasy 16 and God of War Ragnarok. That's it. And we still have no release dates for those games. And I told you guys before that I think these games are coming out at the end of the year. These games are on the tail end of 2021. I really still believe that. And there's still a possibility, let's not pretend that it's not with these huge games sometimes, that it could be pushed back into early 2022, maybe the first quarter or something like that. So that is not outside of the possibilities. So I'm keeping all that, in the back of my mind. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why not get a gaming PC first now? I could put that to use a lot quicker and a lot better than I could with any other system right now. Because like I said, there's games right now on the Steam library that I will kill to play. I can't think of any names right now, but you know what? I'm going to dive into this coming week in the next week's podcast. I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to talk about what I've discovered with PC gaming. In a sense, it feels like I'm discovering something for the first time, a new phenomenon in a sense for the first time. There's so much information out there. There's so many videos. There's so many things and people out there that are helping you, that will help you with your, find the right gaming PC for you, to get started or whatever. So I'm really excited about that. And I look forward to moving towards that realm and having that device to be able to play and go through. You know what I mean? And I could use my Xbox Game Pass that I have for my son. I could use that with the fucking PC, which is dope. So I'm not really losing anything here. If anything, I'm gaining a faster, computer, faster device, better fidelity, all of those things. And I'm getting a lot of flexibility with the games that I could play on that said device. And it'll be the perfect combination with the PS5, I think. And then when the PS5 starts coming out with their games and stuff, then I can get the PS5 and then I'll be cool. I still have a lot of friends who actually have PCs and play, and their PCs are basic. They're just basic, generic PCs that are bought from the store, not very powerful or anything like that. And these guys still fuck with Steam and play games on them. So, I think it'll be a dope addition. I'm going to learn a little bit more about it, especially about the games. I've only glazed over it. I'm sure there's dozens of games that I can add to this list and move forward with. So I'm excited, guys, about the PC stuff, and you hear these PC people talk all the time. They're elitist, we're elitist, and all this stuff, man. I mean, I'm not going to get into the bed when talking about that stuff, but I will say it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, especially right now. Something to buy right now. Get out here. I've seen $300 build PCs. Like, there's people out here saying, hey man, you get these parts and this shit, it'll be right around $300 and boom, you can go. And guess what's $300 right now? The Xbox Series S. Okay. So would you rather get that, or would you rather build you one for around the same price as that? And then boom, you feel me? You see what you have here? You still have the flexibility of playing those games and getting the same fidelity and all those things out of that device, but you have more of a range with the games you want to play, with the emulators and all the other stuff. So you don't have to fucking jailbreak the Xbox Series S or anything like that to do all that. You can just get a device for that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I that's where I'm at right now, guys. I'm going to readdress it, but I've been thinking about that. Should the first system I be not a PS5 and should it be a fucking PC right now? It would definitely fill the void as of right now, as opposed to waiting for the PS5. Number one, to even get your hands on it, because right now you can't even go get one Anyway, these scalpers are still out here doing, strange things in the dark with warm butter. They're still out here trying to fucking capitalize on this shit. And I guess this that last hurrah that they're going for or whatever. Okay, until Sony can flood the market completely with these PS5s. And even if they did, I had to ask myself, if there was a PS5 available right now at Walmart or at my local Target, would I go get one right now? And now I have to seriously sit and think about that, because if I did pick it up now, guess what? I wouldn't be using it. There'd be nothing that I would be playing right now. Yes, I know Hitman 3 is out right now, and I am a Hitman fan. I am, but not enough to. That's not the game that will make me say, "Oh, I'm going to buy this right now." It's not. Like I said, though, two that are for me: the God of War Ragnarok and the Final Fantasy 16. Any of those two games. But when any of those are ready to come out, then I'll say I'll go and I'll get my PS5. But right now, that's not happened. So until then, I think I might go with the PCs of some sort and kick back and play that and play the games there until the games come out. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to put my money on the table and walk away. I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast, for listening to this episode. And I hope to hear from you again. If you're a newcomer, if you're new to the show, we do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. Hopefully you liked what you've heard and you will return. To the ones that are here and that have been here, I love you dearly. Once again, if you want to support the show, if you're looking to help out in any shape, form, or fashion, you can go to StudioMguyvR.com. You can download the podcast there, stream it there. You could show your love and support. You can go to the merch store, buy a t-shirt, buy a hoodie, buy a fucking cup. Or if you just want to donate for just to donate because you like the show, you can also do that as well. All that stuff is there at your disposal, guys. If you want to get at me on social media, all those are there as well. My Facebook page, my Instagram, okay, everything there, my Discord, all that is available to you. So check it out. Show your love. Download the Dragon Ball song for free. Okay, check out the song. Check out some of my other projects musically that I've done and tell me what you think. I'm curious to know what you guys think about some of these things. And with that being said, I'm going to get my ass up out of here. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.